What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things.
With Shawn and Andrew.
Did you watch it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
We're reality TV stars now?
I don't think we're reality TV stars.
We're on reality
TV. So, if you don't know, Andrew and I did a show called Special Forces on Fox, and it just premiered. And we are here to debrief not only the experience, but to walk you through episode 1 and what all you didn't see.
Here's why we're so obnoxious, and we'll continue to be obnoxious about talking about this and sharing content about this and stories and making videos about it, is because
it was freaking awesome.
It was awesome. It incorporated a lot of things we love. It incorporated a lot of things that we want to do more of, like working with the military, something we've always loved doing. Mm-hmm. We've done the Green Beret event and challenge for the last several years.
Flown with the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
Worked with the Navy SEALs.
It also incorporates like the health and fitness interest for us. And so it's kind of like a culmination and peak moment in a lot of ways for us there. But also, inevitably, what I've seen from Shawn is people use these big things that she has done, like the Olympics or Dancing with the Stars, and that's all that they ask about. So we're hoping that if you do care about this at all, which we're not asking you to care about it, but if you do happen to care about it, maybe we'll be able to answer some of your questions, give you a behind the scenes look. That's really why we started YouTube in the first place. And it's kind of a fun extension to do on the podcast, is to share behind the scenes and give you the full story that you might not see on TV.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot to share here.
Yeah. And then when we bump into you on the street, maybe we'll have more to talk about. So this is going to be fun.
Okay, so let's take them back, babe.
Yeah.
We filmed this show in Morocco, North Africa.
That's right.
Mid-June?
Yep. Ended June 18th.
End of June 18th. And what you didn't see and what they didn't show, like the lead up of, was, so we found out probably 3 weeks before the show started. And we went through psych tests where we had to get online with these professional psychiatrists who work directly with shows that are dangerous.
Yeah.
And it was probably an hour to 2 hour Zoom with the psychiatrist where they ask you so many things. Like, have you been in legal trouble before? Have you ever hit someone? Do you have mental health issues? Did I go through postpartum depression? How did I deal with it? Like, they're truly trying to see if you are mentally stable enough to take on such a challenge like this.
But it was so fascinating because this is a whole business and an industry of like reality TV casting. And so from our perspective, it was like, we're talking to a psychologist and they're trying to figure out and learn about us.
I was like, do you work for the show or do you work for our best interests?
Yeah.
Like, do I tell you the truth here or like?
Yeah. Are you like a therapist who's actually trying to expose anything that we might need to deal with personally? Or are you trying to expose something that the show can then use and ask us about and say, hey, you mentioned that you went through this really tough time in life and this is going to be a dramatic moment for TV.
How many times did they ask us if we've ever wanted to kill someone?
So yeah, there was
legitimately multiple times.
There was a couple parts of the psych evaluation. One was the interview with like an actual psychologist on Zoom. And so it's like a very casual conversation. He's asking you these conversations and you're like, kind of let your guard down, which my whole thing going into this was, I'm just going to be fully honest. Yeah. And I'm not going to try to play the game or like try to hide this or that or construct this. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I'm actually going to answer this because I'm curious what I'll learn about myself in the process. So you had the interview and then I think it was a follow-up to the interview.
It was so long, like an online experience that we had to do.
340 questions.
Dude.
And it wasn't like hard questions, but there were questions I'd never been asked. Like, have you ever been bullied? Have you ever bullied somebody? When was the last time you physically hit somebody?
Have you ever thought about killing someone? And then like 50 questions later, no, but have you ever thought about killing someone?
Different iterations literally of that same question. Or have you ever thought about doing harm to yourself? Have you ever thought about, and it's like, you're like, it was so direct. It was almost alarming. Yeah. Where I was like, whoa, I mean, when was the last time I thought, like, I don't know. We all have bad thoughts. So then you're like, frick, what's happening? I don't know. Like,
when's the last time you thought about what, Andrew?
No. Whatever the question was, I was like, I mean, are you depressed?
It asked
I don't
about,
know.
like,
Like, have I been, I don't know.
have you ever struggled with insomnia? Do you dream at night? It was like so much intense psych eval stuff that we had to go through. And then we just didn't hear anything.
Yeah, there's no follow up to that.
So
But
then
we did also, the day before the show filmed, we did another online test,
Yep.
which was like a personality profile, which showed like, hey, you're really community oriented, or you're really self-driven. You really like, it kind of exposed personal motivations almost, which was fascinating. And they had us all take it, and we all sent screenshots in to the producers, and you're like, again, how are they going to use this for the TV show?
But going back to like our 3 weeks at home before we flew to Morocco. So we went through these like psych evals. We had to do a fitness exam, but it was like it wasn't something you had to pass or not. I think they were just gauging,
Like a benchmark.
yeah, where you would be. And it was like holding your breath underwater, swimming, running a mile, doing pull-ups, doing push-ups.
We did a whole main channel YouTube video on that. It was actually a blast. It was me being ridiculous for 10 minutes is what the video is. But yeah.
They sent us our boots.
Oh my gosh.
Which was a whole thing. Because those suckers are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Those suckers are uncomfortable.
Well, okay. So yeah, because we did have a connection at Fox and at the production company. So the way TV works is like the network will work and buy TV concepts from a production company who kind of like run the show, and they own the IP of, or I actually don't know how that legal aspect of it works. So we had done pre-screening calls with the production company, and they're like, hey, we're going to have to get you some stuff. You also have to do the fitness test. And they put us in touch with a psychologist. They were kind of like the point person. So they send us these boots. They're like, it'd be great to break them in. They said wear them in, or no, we had a
friend who said,
put them in water.
Put them in water. During these 3 weeks, it just so happened that we had our Green Berets event. So we flew out and did our event with all these Green Berets who are really close to us. And so we, like, in confidence, tell them we're going on this show.
Yeah.
And they were so excited. And they were, like, giving us tips as to get through, like, Special Forces training.
Yeah. It was pretty sweet, to be honest.
We wore our boots there to try to break in. And they thought it was absolutely hysterical. They're like, dude, your boots suck.
Yeah, so we got the inside scoop, and we ended up then starting to find boots that would be helpful, because we've heard it was very physically taxing, the show. And so we knew we were going to be wearing the boots a lot. We knew we were going to have to be doing running challenges on our feet a lot, climbing, all the different things. So we wanted to make sure that, like, you know, as a football player, cleats was always like a pivotal, important piece of equipment to have. It's like, if your feet are hurting, you're not in great shape. And anyway, so we ended up buying 30 pairs of boots.
It was ridiculous. And let me just say, none of them were comfortable. They were all pretty much the same.
Oh my gosh.
And we had to get boots within certain parameters. You know, they had to be military boots. They had to be certain brands. And all the sizing was really off, whatever. We ended up finding boots.
The sizing was whack. So we ended up ordering so many because a size 12 with this company would be like a size 15 in this
ridiculous.
company. Or a size 9 in this. And so we could not figure out.
I think we both ended up using the original boots, which is comical.
Oh my God.
And fast forward, our boots broke, which was a huge thing in the middle of one of the challenges, whatever. So we're breaking in the boots. We're also, in those 3 weeks, I bought like super heavy rucksacks?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I was trying to ruck, because our production was saying the two things that usually are the hardest on people is water, which I was terrified of. So I kept trying to practice holding my breath. Every time I took a shower, I would like try to hold my breath and time it. Or I would go hold our breath in our water. Or the rucksack, because every single piece of equipment on the show is universal, meaning we all had to carry the same amount of weight no matter the challenge, which was a drastic disadvantage to me.
And we had an idea. Some people said it was 40-pound sack. Some people said it's 30.
Depending upon if it was wet.
Yeah.
So I got a 60-pound rucksack.
Yeah.
And I was rucking with 60 pounds because I was like, I'd rather get so used to super heavy and it be that rather than like the other way around.
And put this in perspective. It's me at 225 pounds with a 60-pound rucksack, and Shawn at not even half that with a 60-pound rucksack. Everybody has the same equipment, no matter how big, small, fit, or not you are.
Whatever.
So, But honestly, that's pretty accurate. Like,
Yeah. It's accurate for the military.
yeah.
And it was funny. Well, we'll get there. Okay, so that's the first 3 weeks. Tried to up our training, get ready, get prepped. Then they send us a packing list. The packing list is like 2 pairs of underwear for the girls, 2 pairs of underwear, 2 bras, toothbrush, toothpaste, hair tie. And that was like it. And your boots.
And they said one luxury item, which was a
Yeah.
personal item, like a picture or a book. And so,
Which again was trash. I took a journal, you took a Bible, and they took them from us.
yeah.
Everybody else got
we
their
ended up
luxury
never
items.
getting our luxury item. So we had no books. And also,
Did
our
we get
like,
them back?
so you could have a medical exemption. Yeah, because it was in our
Okay.
suitcase when we exited. But what we found out was some people took their medical kit and like really used that generously, and so they were like, oh, I have to have my sleeping supplement, and I have to have this supplement, and that's so some people came in with like a massive bag of
We came in with
all these
nothing.
necessary because we were intimidated from the get-go.
We're rule followers.
And we didn't want to stand out or give them any reason
Yeah.
to yell at us or say, you think you're different or better. Even with the boots, it was like we tried to find boots that looked exactly the same as the original pair they'd sent us because we didn't want to have different designs and then isolate us out.
Well, and we didn't want to jeopardize like the actual integrity of the challenge. Like we take challenges very seriously where we don't want to like cut any corners.
Yes.
So we were like, if we're going to do this, we're going to like freaking do this.
Yeah.
The only thing I desperately wanted was to smuggle in my electrolytes so bad because theirs were so yucky, but it was fine.
But we also didn't know if we were going to get electrolytes.
We didn't know if we were going to get electrolytes.
Literally, any question we would ask, so we had to go through our agent who would then ask the production company, who would then have to ask Fox, who would then have to ask then instructors like the DS who were running the course. And so it was like every question we asked, like, are they going to have electrolytes on the course? It was desert.
So vague.
They would be like, maybe.
We can't tell you.
And you're like, that's an important thing. Like, we're going to need to have.
They really tried to take away every luxury though, in the sense of even like information or knowledge or preparation so that you were truly immersed.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So we get on the flight going to Africa.
And it is top-notch experience throughout. So we have
luxury.
I didn't know this existed, but they have handlers that you can book, I guess, for any trip you go on at the airport where they meet you at the curb. They'll take your suitcase, then they'll walk you behind a special security person or security entrance, and then they'll take you to like the lounge, and then they'll like ask you, do you want to be first in the plane or last in the plane? They can drive you plane side, get you on the board, and then we're flying first class,
they really
international,
propped us up,
which was insane. And we're like, I think on the way back we flew Air France, and you're like doing wine pairings with this 5-course meal. And you're like, wow, I'm living the high life. They make you feel like you're just on top of the world.
Yeah, before they just pull the rug out from under you.
Contrast you with the absolute savagery.
I want to say, so going into this, we did have a lot of conversations about the time away from our kids. The absolute hardest part about this was this idea of when you are immersed in the course, you have no contact to the outside world. So you don't have a phone, you can't call your kids, you can't call your family. That really was a hard thing for me to digest, and that's why we almost didn't do the show. If we made it to the end, we would have been gone from home of like 11 days, and that is way longer than any time we've ever been away from our kids. So I set up a meeting with a child psychiatrist here in Nashville that I adore. I had a lot of conversations with her, and I was fully expecting her to tell me like, yeah, like it can have some lasting impressions and whatever. And she was like, Shawn, you have to do this, which was shocking to me. So then it put it back on us.
And
so
she said, no, the kids will be fine.
Yeah. And they said, she asked about our setup and what our plans were. And she's like, this sounds like absolute heaven for your children and like a great way for them to grow.
Yeah.
We had my parents watching our kids. Andrew's mom flew in and helped watch the kids. We had a babysitter who's like our kid's best friend. Aunts and uncles came in, cousins. They had a different activity every day. They got to go to the lake. It was literally summer vacation for them. And I don't think they even knew we were gone.
Another reason we almost said no. By the way, we had been asked to do other reality TV challenges. Yeah. We won't name them, but it's like
we've always said no.
It's like 4 or 5 weeks away from the kids with no contact. And so one of the reasons we said yes was because it was a shorter duration compared to other shows.
If we made it the whole time.
Yeah, and it could have been super short if we didn't. Honestly, our work with the military and just our eagerness to help in any way in that sense was high. So like the concept of the show of getting to know these people, building empathy through like trying to understand what they go through was high. We also love challenges like we were talking about. But we almost said no too because, well, initially they just wanted Shawn, and then they almost used me as like a bargaining chip. Like, well, Shawn, what if Andrew did it too? And so then it was like a really interesting conversation. One with, now we're both leaving the kids, but two, is this something we want to spend our time doing together? Would this be beneficial or detrimental to our marriage? We were like, came in as soon as they offered us both to be on the show. We were like so pumped. And then we were like, we got to watch the show so we know what we're getting into. And we started talking to people, and we started watching the show and realizing that there is a psychological component to this. And we got worried at one point and almost said no.
Yeah.
Like very close to saying no because we thought they were going to toy with our marriage and like try to use that as a...
Like what if they plotted us against one another?
Yeah, but after talking to other people who have been on the show, they're like, no, the instructors and the production and Fox really, they want the show to be almost like a redemption oriented show. And you could see that in how they portray the characters largely, you know, of the people who have been on the show. It's like, we want to bring out the best in you.
Well, and we'll get to it towards the end, but you guys had a lot of questions about how like it felt really scripted and how real was it. So I don't know how to like get you guys to trust me when I say this, but I've done a lot of reality TV shows. I've done The Apprentice, Dancing with the Stars, The Challenge, and I have been on scripted reality TV where it portrays itself like it's like in real life and like fine, but actually when they're editing it, they're putting a storyline to it, or they're like driving you towards a certain direction to say certain things. This show is not that. We were barely in any interaction with a camera. You are going through this course with, you'll see on the show, we're all wearing like these black necklaces. Those are microphones. So we wear microphones 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
And then the show is essentially filmed by security cameras. When we go out on challenges, there's one crew that will come with us, but they're not allowed to talk to you. You're not allowed to ask them questions. You can have no interaction. They're dressed in full army gear. Their cameras are like camouflage, so it doesn't even look like there's a crew there, but there's no interaction. You're not allowed to have interaction with the outside world of any kind, including, that means like the camera guys on set.
So yeah.
Well, not on set. It's not even a set. It's literally the desert.
Yeah. And it's a high level production too. So like you see that there's cameras in the barracks, but what I was so taken
like
aback by,
security cameras, you mean?
Yes.
There's no people. Like there's no, okay, and we're on. It's like,
correct.
It's just filmed by security cameras the whole time.
And when you're doing the challenges, there is like a handheld kind of camera crew that you can know is there, but they are told no interaction. So I try to ask them questions like, hey, do you have a water? And it's like,
nope,
forbidden. You'll get yelled at. Also, there's not a lot of opportunity because you're kind of in ranks the whole time looking at the instructor. So there's not a lot of chance for opportunity. And if you tried to take one, they just shut it down immediately.
Or there's like, you'll see us like when we rappel out of the helicopter or jump off something. If we're wearing a harness, there's a safety guy, who is always like the last person to look at you or to like touch your harness or like make sure you're safe.
The harness.
But again, they're not allowed to say anything to you. You can't ask them questions.
They won't even make eye contact.
No, they're literally just there trying to make sure you don't die.
Yeah. You ever fall in love with something online, like a dining table or a pair of sneakers, and then see the price tag and think, nope, not happening?
Happens to me all the time. That's why I have been using dupe.com. I just got my mom hooked too. It is honestly the smartest shopping hack I have ever found.
Here's the trick. Just type dupe.com / in front of any product link you're looking at, and instantly it pulls up more affordable versions.
And the best part is these aren't knockoffs. Most of the time, they're items that come from the exact same factories as the high-end brands. You're just not paying for the extra markup.
It's wild. Millions of people are already using dupe. It's gone totally viral. I saw someone get an $1,800 coffee table for less than $400.
I just scored a set of bar stools I've wanted forever.
What?
Half the price, and they look identical.
You're buying bar stools over here?
Yes, for the new house.
What? And dupe doesn't just work for furniture. It's fashion, shoes, jewelry, basically anything you've got your eye on. They even have a trade program where designers and real estate pros can earn commission.
Dupe.com makes shopping simple. No accounts, no signups. Just type dupe.com / before any product URL and let the savings roll in.
Don't pay more than you need to. Start saving today with dupe.com. We're going to answer all the questions that Shawn got from Instagram. A couple other things that are worth noting. Did we get paid? Yes, we did get paid. Is it like bonkers? No, it's not like insane.
But it's not incentivized pay. So every single person gets paid the same exact amount before it ever starts. Does that make sense? So like you could literally show up for 1 second and like you get paid the same amount as anybody else who like finishes or wins the course.
Which
there's no trophy, there's no title, there's no nothing.
Yeah. Which that incentive, I was like just eagerly involved in the whole thing from the get-go, but at some point you do realize like, wow, I'm really putting my safety and health at risk for like, why am I here? That thought struck me a couple times. I don't know if it did you too.
Yeah, a couple times. But I also want to debunk this whole, is it scripted or produced or whatever. So when we flew to Morocco,
which we didn't know was in Morocco until 5 days, 4 days before. Like we were like, is it going to be jungle? Is it going to be desert? They did not tell us. I don't even know if they knew.
Oh, we also had to do a bunch of like physicals here with doctors to make sure we were physically fit, make sure we didn't have any heart issues or like whatever.
Pretty extensive medical stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get on the plane, get off the plane. We get there 2 days before the course starts. Okay, so if you made it to the end of the 10-day course, you would have been there 12 days. Those 2 days is where anything that looks tailored, finessed, where we have our makeup on and we're sitting side by side in a dark room doing interviews, that's where we do all of that. So you sit in a room basically for 2 days straight doing like your headshots and your pictures and your interviews that you see cut in between the like challenges and the actual real life course.
Still staying in bougie hotels, still eating great food. We did do, so we jumped out of a helicopter in episode 1. We'll get there. But like we were watching with some people that are like, oh, did they like teach you how to rappel?
No.
And the answer is no, but they do.
In those 2 days.
They do it's almost like a benchmark test to gauge your skill going in and make sure that there's no detrimental safety issues. So like we did a quick ropes test.
Yeah.
And so the 2 days you're like getting shuttled here and there to do the interviews, to do these tests, to meet with whoever. It's like a busy 2 days, but we did the ropes thing and then we did a scuba test real quick of like, how are you underwater? Can you use a scuba mask? And they teach you what that's like in case of emergency that you do need to use one. But it's like 5 minutes. It's not extensive. You're not learning a lot. And even I asked a question of like a logistical thing on the rope and they were like, can't tell you. Like, we just want to make sure that you're not going to be an absolute liability to yourself or others. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
It's like bare minimum. Yeah. So those 2 days are like anything prepped, scripted that you would ever see on the show. It's like backfill. The second night we're there is technically when the quote unquote course starts. That's when all contact with the outside world finishes. You have to hand over your phone. You hand over all of your luggage. We put on one outfit. They said put on like athletic clothes that make you feel comfortable. And then everyone disappears. So
someone comes and checks your bags, make sure that you don't have any other personal items snuck in. They have these little like envelopes that you put everything in. And then you put your suitcase away and they're like, all right, these are the things we're taking onto the course. That's it. Nothing else. And you're like, all right, game on.
So then they tell us what our call time is. I think our call time was 5 a.m. And they said at 5 a.m. you have to like be up and ready. And they come and get you just like a normal person. Oh, shoot. You also did one last, gosh. right before that
Oh,
night,
yeah,
you do
yeah,
one last physical and psych exam.
Yeah.
There is an actual doctor on course with us that you don't really get to interact with, and a psychiatrist. So they sit you down 24 hours before this course starts, and they introduce themselves and they say, I'm going to be your psychiatrist. I'm going to be watching you the whole time from the security cameras. I'm going to be taking notes. We will have to do an exit interview. I will be in contact with you for 4 months after the show ends. It's like all this crazy
Which all
stuff.
feels so dramatic. And also, previous contestants we've talked to are like, I think I have PTSD from the show. And you're like, that's dramatic.
It's
but
not.
then, and the whole process of like, what do you mean? And we're going to have to do a debrief, exit interview. You're going to be in touch. You're like, what? That's
you're like,
too
that
much.
feels unnecessary.
We're doing a couple workouts out there. And then, I don't know if you noticed this, but the vibe when you met the doctor before the show versus when he was on the show was like, again, there's no eye contact.
No.
It's not supposed to be a comforting, welcoming environment at all. It's like
if you ever needed a doctor while the course was going on, you would have to like submit a request almost.
Yeah.
And he might come 24 hours later. He's
oh
not
my
asking
gosh.
you how you are. It's literally like a wall. You're like, I think I have pneumonia. And he goes, are you fine?
Well, yeah. So
I think I'm fine.
the medical
Okay, go
thing was
back.
kind of a game too, because you didn't want to go see the doctor, because if you did and you actually had a big issue,
Then
then
they had
he
to
would
pull
say
you.
you're done.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the only ways you get off the show besides voluntarily withdrawing. So you're like, I don't want to see the doctor. Also, the doctor is not always available. You can go see him maybe a couple times a day.
But he's always watching. Like they're literally.
It's very safe, but very
But also
dangerous.
very not.
I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So the morning comes, 5 a.m. Someone knocks on our door. They take us and they say, get on this bus. And that's where the beginning of episode 1 starts. You see all of us on this bus. We have our microphones on now, and the course has officially started. From the time that the bus doors close, the course has started. That means no more interviews, no more phones, no more luxuries. You can't ask to go to the bathroom. You can't stop at a rest. Like there's nothing.
And logistically, we flew from Nashville to New York to Paris to Marrakesh, where we did the first 2 days.
To Warzazat.
Then the night before, we drove to Warzazat, which is like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then that morning on the shuttle, we go from Warzazat to an hour outside of that, wherever that was.
In the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Like where there were ruins. It's not civilized. Like it's the middle of the desert.
So then now we're on the show live. This is like what you would
Episode
see
1.
in the episode is us on buses.
So then we're driving through like the mountains. All of a sudden, we're coming up and we see these ATVs with like masked guys and guns and explosives and fires. And they start shooting at the bus, screaming.
Yeah.
They pull the driver out. The driver goes running. Like it's acting to a certain extent, but also like super believable.
And at this point, like vibes are high. Honestly,
Yeah.
we just met everybody else on the show, because before then they keep it real buttoned down. Like you're not supposed to interact with anybody or even leave your hotel room, because they don't want you bumping into other recruits. And
But
so
now we've met.
Now we met and we're like, oh, it's nice to meet you. It's crazy. Can't believe we're here. What's your background? Oh, you're an athlete too, whatever. And so then the bus capture happens, and you're still like, this is a show.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah,
and they're like slamming your head down. You're like, okay.
Yeah. And it's like, obviously they're like shooting
BBs.
Yeah. And
Pellets,
it's like,
whatever.
oh, what a fun TV thing. And then
But then it kind of starts escalating.
as soon as a bag goes over the head and they shove your face down on the dirt and then tie your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
That was one of several times they tie your hands like you're getting arrested. And they start yelling at you. You're like, okay, vibes are a little less high.
Getting a little crazy, but like, this is cool.
Right.
And then I remember I was the very last person to be picked up off the ground. So there are 18 of us. And they're trying to arrange like what groups you're in, trying to figure out who you are, because they put bags over you. And I remember I was probably on the ground for 45 minutes. Zip tied with a bag over my head, face down on the ground. They're like, do not move.
And if you move, they will yell at you.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, well, I'll try not to move. Like I'm going to respect them, because that's what I'm here for, is to like learn and do the right thing. So
then they put us into 2 groups. We're still bagged. They shuffle us to these 2 separate areas. Now I can tell like I'm in a line shuffling. Again, if you watch the episode, you'll see this, but you don't know who you're with. Again, we've just met these people. I remember it was a tall guy, but it wasn't you. And I don't even know if you're with me anymore.
they have you walk in single file line, as you say on the show, with their hands on the shoulder in the front of you. You can't see anybody. You have this canvas bag, which is not like it's a heavy canvas.
Heavy.
Sweating balls in there. You can't see anything. You could see out the very bottom, but you can't. It's like just shoes you're seeing.
So,
and my arms were freaking fatigued because
Yeah.
you're walking for like 20 minutes, tripping over
Wait,
the person in front of you. You didn't walk that long?
I got shoved in the back of a car.
You got in a car right then?
I got in some sketchy truck where like I couldn't sit up. I was like, I was literally
right
like,
out of the bus?
yes.
What?
I don't know. I
no.
do not know what kind of vehicle I was in.
It
But
must have been a Razor or
I
something like that. That's
could
interesting.
not sit up.
What? We shuffled, walked for a long time, and you're like, you're so close that you're tripping on each other, and then you're breathing hard, you're getting yelled at. That's interesting. I didn't know that you guys did
No,
that.
we were in the car for 30 some minutes.
What?
It was, and I still had the bag over my head.
Oh my gosh.
I was trying not to panic in the car because I was like, how long am I going to be here? Again, they don't tell you anything.
I can't believe, I can't wait to learn more about your experience because obviously.
So you shuffled to your first location.
Yes, which was in a riverbed.
So we got put in cars and drove for about a half hour because we were driving to where we were, because we went straight to the helicopter.
Yeah.
So they drive us for about a half hour, still bagged, pull us out of the cars, shuffle. We probably shuffled for 5 minutes. They lined us up, and then that's when they start taking individual bags off. And I was the second to last in line, so I was hearing one by one who was with us, and it wasn't you. I was like, what? Not Andrew. And I could tell you weren't next to me, and I was like, he's not here.
And yeah, so this is also one of the parts from the show that we had watched that I remember. And it's like, oh, they pull the bag off. They ask who you are. Maybe they say something rude. And you're like, okay, this is crazy. Now I know that whatever they film here will be on the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, you kind of have like this awareness of, all right, I gotta have awareness that this is going to be filmed. But then they like freaking yank that bag off your head.
You were trying not to giggle.
I know. Well, because it's still a TV show at
I
this
know.
point. And I'm like, entertainment, fun.
Their intensity is real.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, go ahead.
Nah, they did the same thing to me. Pull mine off. I was smirking, smiling. Because when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm in situations like that, I'm just a giggler. I'm like a uncomfy giggler and smile person. And Billy was like, wipe that smile off your face. And then he's like,
oh, man.
this is my last warning. And I was like, oh God.
So I found out also that we were not together because, well, I wanted to look to the left or right, but people are already getting yelled at. So I was just like looking straight ahead, and then they stopped asking for people's names or backstories, and you're like, well, that was not 18.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, interesting. This is the first unknown.
Yeah.
Like, we did not know we were going to split up. What happens next?
And they didn't split up. They didn't split up Jesse and Eric because there were 3 duos. There was a mom and daughter, Teresa and Gia. Jesse and Eric are married. They're friends of ours and us. Jesse and Eric stayed together on the first split up. Teresa and Gia got split up, and you and I got split up.
Yeah.
So then they take the bags off our heads, and they say, like, turn in a single file line, and they take us to this, like, mud pond.
Gosh, yeah.
It was, like, ours was, like, man-made. It was, like, a mud pond. And they put us through, like, a half hour, they call it beasting, where ours were, like, tuck jumps, burpees, sit-ups, army crawls for a half hour straight. And it was, like, it was pretty intense. Mark Estes was leading our group, and I was behind him, and they just said, if you don't keep up with him, you're out. And I was like, okay.
Oh, jeez. I remember when you didn't know Mark's name. You're like, some guy was leading the group.
Yeah.
And then we all get to know each other really well. But ours was in a riverbed, and I think we had to go face down first. And they called it's a beasting, like Beasting, not Bee.
Not a bee.
Not a
sting.
bee sting.
It's a beast.
Like
you're a beast.
They're dominating you pretty much. Anyway, but the crazy thing is, like, as athletes, before any game or competition or practice, you do a whole warm up. It takes 15, 20 minutes. You get your body right, your muscles warm, stretched out, mobilized, all the things. This was my first realization of this is so different because now we're doing high intensity exercises and movements with no
preparation.
Yeah. And so, like, your body just responds differently. And there's no water stations or nutrition stations. It's like you're inhaling dirt.
And it's not like pretty. It's like our very first part of our course was like you had to crawl through the pond, and they were like full head under, full body, roll over every time. If you're not, we do this again.
Yeah.
And we just kept doing these like circles. It was like crawl, jumps, burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, and we're going to keep going until everyone complies. And you had a lot of people in our groups who like weren't used to the physicality of this. And so it was just a very humbling first experience of like, let's get in line. So we did that and they lined us back up and now we're covered in mud. I remember my clothes were literally falling off me because they were so heavy. And then they just say, strip down and change into your clothes, your army clothes.
Yep. And boots too. They give you like a black
but they're screaming at you
stuff
too.
sack that just has all these other clothes and they're like, change, put your old clothes in that same stuff sack and you don't see your clothes again. So there's a couple of people that wore like Gucci shoes and glasses and all these fancy things.
Eva was wearing her Rolex watch, her diamond rings, her diamond earrings. And she was like yelling at the staff to be like, staff is what we called the
instructors.
The
Special
Foxy,
Forces
Rudy,
guys. Yeah.
Q, Billy. She was like yelling at the staff. She's like, can you please hold my Rolex? And they were like, no.
Yeah, that's concerning. I mean, that easily could have gotten lost. And it's also super muddy and they don't freaking care. Also, I got asked last night, there's a clip of my face getting slammed in the mud, or he kind of pushes me forward when I'm from my knees. And they're like, did they like give you a preface like, hey, just so you know, we're gonna be touching you like this and forcing you like this and make sure you get your face all the way in the mud? No, there was no pre-production or off-camera prompting.
No.
I did though. I mean, I was thinking about how I could have held myself up from there, but you kind of like
it's a submittal process of like,
yeah, I knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I guess it's the athlete in me where it's like, I'm just going to do as I know my coach wants me to do, not exactly as I could do. I don't know.
Well, and a big part of the whole course, so the whole course, the 10 days, the challenges, the bee stings, the everything, it's 100% designed by the 4 instructors.
Yeah.
So they are coming in as instructors of Navy SEALs, Recon Marines, SAS, SBS, and they're designing this in the best way they know how and what they would do in their real life. And then the production crew is just from afar filming it.
Yeah.
So the production crew doesn't step in and be like, oh, can you do that again? It's literally, they have to stand back and just film as it happens.
Yeah.
And we are understanding that we are now in the Special Forces world. It is not our world anymore. And it is our job to submit and do as we're told, to learn from them the best that they're willing to teach. They're wanting to teach.
And I guess if there's any gamification, it's like, I fully realized we are in this mud pit. We're all going to get muddy.
Yeah.
So I might as well just dive in now. So it's like,
don't fight it.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt.
So then we're stripping, we're changing into our uniforms. We're learning kind of the military gist. That probably took 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then our group went straight from there and we ran. We had to like run in a line for probably half a mile to where the helicopter was. And we show up and there's a helicopter. They like are screaming at us to get in our harnesses.
By the way, the helicopter lands 50 yards in front of you. You're in the desert. The blades are just blasting dust at your face.
And they're like, look at it.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't open my eyes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's rocks flying in your face. It was not comfortable, but anyway.
So they're yelling at you to put on your harnesses. And so this is where our 20-minute educational session before the show started comes into play. You literally have to just like do it yourself.
Put the harness on yourself.
Yeah.
Put the helmet on yourself.
That's when the safety guy will like quickly come by and just like look at everything to make sure it's fine. And then that probably took 3 minutes. We turn and run directly on the helicopter. So like
you were first group?
I was first group.
Wow.
So we run straight on the helicopter. It goes up.
They did groups of 4 at a time. So it would have been like 4 people going in Shawn's group and then 4 or 6 people left behind.
Yep. And I was the third to go. And they like literally, they go up a couple 100 feet and they're like, okay, number 10, which is my number, you're up. And they hook you in and say, when I say go, drop. Probably 10 seconds later, Billy looked at me. He's like, go. So you like, there's no production to it.
And it's so intense because it's loud. You know there's cameras. You know you're doing a TV show. You know you get one shot. but you don't know how to jump out of a helicopter. And you're like, okay,
Hope
this
it goes
is
okay.
just the whole ingredients of this feel so crazy right now. So I was like, there's a little extra adrenaline or edge or nerves about the whole thing because of the context it was in. So you do it.
So my whole group did it, got through it. I will never forget being on that helicopter, though. It was kind of a janky helicopter.
Yeah.
And I remember Billy was on the helicopter with me, and he looked directly at all four of us that were on there. And it was the first time I saw like an intensity of him. Yes, they had been yelling at us, but it was a different kind of intensity. And he like locked eyes with us, and he's yelling because it's so loud. He's like, if they lose control of this helicopter, you watch me and do exactly as I say. And it was a different tone. And it was in that moment I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think he's 100% comfortable with this helicopter.
Wait, on that note, because again, they do a great job at trying to be as safe as possible. But some stories that we've heard about the show is in a rappel situation in previous seasons, the wind was so high that it blew one of the people into the wall and they shattered their legs. So then you can't see it on camera because they're hiding it, but this guy had a broken leg the whole time, was on crutches when there wasn't filming.
It was a crew member who was testing
And they did another episode, I think somewhere in like the Asia region.
Vietnam.
And one of the production members got bitten by a snake.
Poisonous snake. And there was no anti-venom.
There was another story where I think something with the weather or like technology issues, one of the workouts ended up being 6 hours long, or like the route. And it was it was supposed to be like maybe 45 minutes, but they got
lost,
rearranged because I don't know if it was weather or technology, but like, so there's just certain variables like being in another country you can't bring a U.S. helicopter to Morocco. So it's just like a Moroccan helicopter with Moroccan pilots with Moroccan weather, whatever their standards are.
Not speaking English.
They're trying to cover all the safety elements, but you just don't know what's going to come your way. So people do get seriously injured. And you could tell moments when the DS were like, hey, be vigilant.
Yeah.
Because this is dangerous.
And do exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we my whole group finishes rappelling from the helicopter, and we trek up this mountainside to the top of a mountain ridge.
I can't believe this.
Where there was literally zero shade. Zero. Like middle of the desert, zero shade. And we just sat down, and they said, wait for our next call. So no cameras. DS are gone.
Meanwhile, we're down in the riverbed, just changing our clothes. We're watching the helicopter, like, wow, this is sick. They do a couple laps. We were like, what's going on? The weather, maybe it's the wind is too harsh. They can't do the thing. We don't know what the challenge is, but like, it looked like there was some issue going on. And we're watching the DS then go out by themselves, and they start murmuring to themselves. And we ended up sitting in the shade of this mountain in the river for 2 or 3 hours. And it got to the point where like the DS were just coming up to us. They were so upset, and they were like throwing us water. We ended up getting some like local Moroccan sandwiches that they gave us. And clearly the schedule was not going like they wanted to. So again, at this point, I'm like, this is a cute TV show. We got muddy, and that was a hard workout for sure. My body feels weird, but now we're waiting for a couple hours, and this isn't that hard. This show is not going to be that hard. Then, after a couple hours, well, you tell your side of the story, what you're doing.
So, the full side of our story is we sat on that ridge top in the blazing sun, 120 degrees.
Zero shade.
In the middle of the desert with zero shade. We sat up there for 5 hours.
We're down there, because you had
5
to watch
hours.
us.
Because there was some like
oh my gosh,
miscommunication. Something happened with the crew. Again, the DS and the staff, the sergeants, are trying to run this course, but they're at the mercy of like they have to make sure a camera's there as they're doing it. And something happened to where it was bad weather. Some of the videographers had to go take a break, so they're just like, okay, you're just gonna sit here. And so we baked in that sun for 5 hours.
Because
and
then you had to watch all of us do it. And we're down the riverbed looking at them sitting on this ridge, just in disbelief. They're like, oh my gosh, we're down here in the shade, getting food and water. and they're just baking.
Yeah.
But what happened? It's almost like if you've ever been at the airport and the pilots and the staff get clocked out.
Yeah.
And have to take a break.
There's
something like that with cameras where there was like schedule didn't pan out. Maybe we started too early or something, but they ended up having to take a 2 or 3 hour break before starting again. Nice. So then finally we get tapped on the shoulder. We go put the harnesses on. We get blasted in the face by the dust. We get yelled at. We're all in line. They're like giving you live instructions, and like it was similar to the NFL where if you hear something one time, they expect you to remember it and execute perfectly. They're not like giving you constant reminders. So they're like, hey, here's your partner. Here's what you're going to do. The chopper lands. Blades are still going. We run up. They're like, keep your head down. We're freaking keeping our head down. We get up in there. It's hot as balls in that helicopter. There's one camera in the corner of the helicopter. And we get up there.
Like a GoPro camera.
Yeah. We get up there and they're like, all right, time to go. So it's Nick Young and I drop down, which is so sick. I honestly thought I crushed it. It's crazy to look back on the footage and you're like, oh yeah, I did. I ended up failing that mission because I swung underneath a little bit and I guess I could have had more pace out of there. But we had to drop from the helicopter and then run to like a rendezvous point, which I didn't really show. And so it's Nick and I down there. We're like debriefing. It's like so much adrenaline and you're pumped. But still, I'm like, well, the helicopter wasn't a tough physical challenge. So this is a fun TV show and whatever. And then my first realization of how dangerous it was when Eric and Jesse jumped out subsequently from the helicopter.
They're going to have to show us at some point because it was...
I can't believe they didn't put it in the episode.
So
but
scary.
Jesse's running down the hill to the rendezvous point.
On the ledge of the hill. And we're across them on the other side on the ridgetop watching this.
I am down looking at them from 20 yards below. And Eric comes in. And I think Jesse tripped and then slowed down enough for Eric to bump into her, and it looked like he tackled her, but they're right on the edge of this cliff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if they fall down this cliff, it does not end well.
No.
So then I'm like, oh, this is super serious and people get hurt. Oh, and Jessie like hit her nose.
Yeah, it looked like she broke her nose.
The DS come and Q's yelling at us like, that was dangerous. What, you didn't listen to me, whatever.
Q was legitimately scared.
So then we're sitting there. I see Shawn now. We're like almost parallel or even with each other.
On
like,
separate ridgetops.
And I see where they've been sitting this whole time. Like, oh my gosh. And then it took probably an hour and a half for the rest of my squad to get down, which is where the 5 hour, the 3 hour, 5 hour difference takes place. Because the chopper had to do the 4, come back, pick up more recruits, come back up, dropping off, whatever. It's like, it takes a while. So then now we're all sitting after the helicopter. They do a little debrief thing of like, you failed. This is what you could have done better. That's all on camera that you can kind of see bits of. And then we sat around for a little bit again. And I'm like, this is so easy. I thought this was going to be hard. But then they have us meet up on this like rock hill. And it was my first time really in the terrain of Morocco where it's like really slippery rock.
What do they call it?
Scree?
Yeah.
Is what I call it. But it's like little pebbles almost. It's like almost
that are super slippery. So like when you step, it like slides. It's like almost like sand, but little rocks.
Yeah. So then they're giving us instructions and like people are trying to stand in the same place, but it's too slippery to even do that. And they're like, all right, you got to run down the bottom of this valley. This is a relay race challenge. Don't lose. You don't want to lose. And they're like, we're going to meet here and give you new instructions. So then you sprint down this hill. It's super sketchy. We're
sprinting at the same time. So it's a race now between two teams. Sprint down the mountain to these 2 houses.
Yeah. And they're like, do you see that house? Okay, great. Or this is the house you're going to go to. And it's not very clear. And so we finally get to the house. They give us another set of instructions of like, all right, you're going to have to carry this stuff to that point. Good luck. By the way, the TV does compress the timeline quite a bit. So obviously like the 3 or 5 hour break, you don't really get a glimpse of. The pause after the helicopter, you don't really get a glimpse of. And the instructions in the house, you kind of get a glimpse of in the show or in the first episode. But they make it kind of look all continuous. It was sick to see like the overhead map and the little lines they added. But then
each teams make it to their houses. So there's a house on the right and a house on the left. And then there's this rock hill in between.
Steep.
Very steep.
Steep.
Steeper than stairs. Like steep. And in each house, in your house for your team, you had barrels.
Oh my.
And like big water jugs.
Yeah, I forget what you call them.
And in our house, we had sacks. Like
sandbags.
Like sandbags. It all came up to Each house had 800 pounds of that needed to be moved up the mountain as quickly as possible, racing each other.
It's probably 100 yards to
Straight
get up
up,
this
yeah.
steep slope. Is that right? And then 100 yards from the top of the slope to the drop point.
Yeah.
They did not. They made the helicopter thing seem like the most crazy, challenging thing on the show. But this freaking relay race and that nighttime workout, which we'll talk about, destroyed. It was so hard.
It was really hard.
Because you're carrying this really awkward barrel for us up this super slippery slope. You have to like, there would be 5-foot cliffs. And so you'd have to like throw the barrel over your head, keep it there, try to prevent it from rolling down the hill, figure out how to climb up, go to the next point. You're slipping, you're crawling, you're trying to race. We had no water. So for the last, we had water while we were waiting on Shawn's team. But for the last 4 hours before this,
didn't have water.
0 water.
Don't know why. There was a mistake made where
someone said something after the relay race and they're like, oh,
that's
shoot.
not good.
So we're sucking in Saharan dirt, just coat your throat and mouth, which again, no warm up. These conditions, my body did not respond well. I get to my first drop point and I'm like, oh, that was hard. And then I come back and ask the team like, hey, is there anything left? And they're like, yes, a bunch. And I'm like, oh, it's not just a one and done, which is another thing to keep in mind. They tell you to do this relay race or these challenges. You have no idea how long they last or what's next or the full picture of the idea. So someone asked me last night, hey, do you feel like you went too hard on the physical challenges? I was like, no.
No, because everyone's going balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure and the intensity of the instructors, they're wanting balls to the wall always.
Right.
There's no like, let me take this one easy because I know another one's coming. It's like balls to the wall no matter what. So we're going up and down. There were 2 times I remember feeling like my lung capacity was redlining. And this was the first one.
Oh my gosh.
I got into my 3rd or 4th hill and I was like gasping for oxygen.
Oh,
like in so much physical pain. I was like, am I going to pass out? Yeah.
Meanwhile, Johnny Manziel's on the slope convulsing because the conditions are so tough. He was about to have a heat stroke. To Shawn's credit, the paths converge at the top of the hill, and so you're both on the same path, both teams. I'm hauling as fast as I can. I glance behind me over my shoulder, and I see Shawn hauling A.
Well,
and she overtakes me and blasts right by me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this chick is a freaking machine.
I will say, like, our team was very strong. We had a lot of, like, really strong people, but it was because of the 5 hours sitting on the ridge top and, like, a bunch of things where I was trying to pick up some slack. Johnny was about to literally die. I was really concerned for him.
Dang.
Yeah, it was just kind of a cluster. So, and I was terrified of getting yelled at.
I ended up probably doing 5 or 6 laps up the hill. This is when 4. You see people's different physical capabilities too. We're like, oh, wow. Okay.
And then you're like, I got to make up for it, which is also hard.
Yeah.
So then our teams finish. Everyone is like redlining. Literally redlining.
Oh my gosh.
And they line both teams up and they're like screaming at us all this stuff. And they're like, this team barely won, our team. Your team, was pathetic or like whatever all the words they say. And because you guys didn't win, they say you have to run back to the, what'd they call it, compound?
Yeah.
Base?
The barracks.
Which I literally wanted to cry for you guys.
So we see like Johnny get in the car and he keels over, like literally out of commission. I cannot tell you how discouraged I was when they told us we had to run. They finally did give us water at this point.
Yeah.
But it was almost too late where like my body was in shock.
I actually think you guys would have ran a lot further had you been given water earlier.
They realized no water was a mistake. And so then we had like several people super struggling on our team because of that. I don't know how to describe what it does to your throat to have the dust and the heat like that, but it's terrible. So when we start running and you have DS Foxy, who turns out like this guy does ultra marathon, like all the stuff.
In Antarctica.
And he's like, keep up.
For fun.
So I'm like, all right, well, we got to go balls to the wall. So we start running. The group of recruits kind of gets strung out and dispersed. And
wasn't Jessie right up there with you the whole time?
Crushing, yes.
That girl can run.
Yes.
She was a tank.
And then we heard murmurs as we were running because they ended up doing like a walk run. So we would run maybe for like a quarter mile, walk for 30 seconds.
You also are running with your bergens or your backpacks on, which are, no, we hadn't been issued them yet.
Correct.
Sorry.
Correct. So we hear someone pulled their number. It ended up being Brittany. And so you're like, yeah, I totally get it. After that relay race, I thought I was going to have to tap out. There was, coming into it, zero chance I was going to leave that show. After that relay race, again, the helicopter, I was like, oh, that's a cute show. The relay race, I was like, oh my freaking gosh, what did we do? So I think it gets real. We get to the compound, and it's like everyone's trying to gather their pieces back together and like reassemble their pride. But
who did you bond with the quickest from your team on the first day? Because I remember in my first, 17 hours with the helicopter and the ridge top, you're already like trauma bonding and trying to find like your people that like you can look at for comfort and whatever.
Yeah.
It was me, Bree, and Gia who like
really
clung to each other immediately. Bree was my girl on the first day.
I would say Nick was the funny guy. You could see on the show, he was clowning the whole time until that relay race. Teresa and Christy and I had a great conversation as well. So, yeah.
I felt like it was Christy for you. Yeah. You guys were both very like,
vibe. Yeah.
At Christy Rampone, Olympic soccer player. We know her really well, but they like helped each other through that first day. So you guys run back to the base. We're already at base by the time you guys get back.
And then we hear our first recruits.
Oh, gosh.
And they're like, to the parade square. So we were maybe back for 3 minutes before we hear that. And then they're like, you see the compound that we're at. We all stand. There's little white rocks with our numbers on them. You stand behind them. You're getting yelled at. And then they give us our bergens there.
Yeah, I would say the next 2 hours it's almost like an orientation, but with serious structure. So like they give us our bergens. They meet us back into the barracks. They show us how the bergens work. This is where they give you your rules of like you can never be alone. When you go to the bathroom, even in the middle of the night, you have to wake someone up. You can never take your microphones off. Your bergens have to be packed a very specific way, and it has to weigh a certain amount of pounds. And so
if it's below that, then you get penalized.
Yeah. So like they said, we could check the weight of your bergen at any time, any day, and it better be 40 pounds.
Here's your canteens. It has to be filled to literally the flush with the top at all times. If it's not, then you get penalized. You have to have your whole uniform in this manner with the compass here, the whistle there, the belt here, shirt tucked in, hat,
Your bed has to be a certain way. Your second change of clothes can never be worn on the field. It can only be worn. We had a dry kit and a wet kit is what they called it. So our long sleeve shirts and our pants, we had 2 pairs of each. Say we go out and we get put in the dunk tank. We have to come back into the barrack, take that pair of clothes off, lay it on the drying racks outside, which are just pieces of wood. But if we get called 2 minutes later, we have to put that stuff back on. So like you're constantly changing and trying to manage your time.
And as they're doing this orientation, it's random, and like one person would come tell you 5 minutes of stuff and then go away, and then like you hear another person yelling, you're like, all right, I gotta listen. Also, very quickly, like when they were saying all these detail-oriented things, you realize you don't want to be the one that let the teams down, because like we got penalized at the beginning because Nick was laughing, and the DS penalized us for that before we even changed into the uniform. But then you're like hearing all this stuff, you're like, okay, I have to do all this way, because if not, then everyone suffers as a result. So as far as like the reality TV show layer, it almost doesn't matter, because you're so focused on like do as I'm told here, so that people don't physically suffer in a way that's super serious, as we just learned from the relay race.
I got asked what we were issued, like what was in our bergen. In our bergen, we had a metal set of like a bowl, fork, and spoon for eating, and a coffee cup. So we got that. We got 2 pairs of the outfits you see us like working in. So army pants and a shirt and a hat. We had a sleeping bag and a small pillow. Think like a infant pillow that you put in a crib. Boots and socks.
And they gave us, we talked about the boots that we made sure were really functional, but then they also gave us like dry boot boots.
Same style of boots, but meant to be changed into when you get into the barracks so that your boots can dry.
Which we're also like, oh, haha, wet boots, whatever that means. And then we find out and it's like, oh, I'm so glad I have dry boots. In the barracks, also, there's questions of, what you see on the TV with the cots. They're like, did you actually sleep there? It's like, yes. Yeah. You sleep this close to the next person. Yeah. You have like a little, what do you call it, shoe locker between you. And then you're sleeping on cots. And you have a sleeping bag. Was there a pillow?
Yeah, it was like a little pillow.
A little square pillow. Sleeping bag and a pillow. And then that's where you are. And anytime someone left, they would take the cot, take the shoe locker. We'd all kind of do like a rating of supplies. Mm-hmm. So like go through the person's box and say, all right, well, they left this, that, and the other. I'm going to take their pillow. Yeah. And then there was a little medical box in the barracks where it had toilet cleaning supplies,
blister Band-Aids,
which were necessary.
Bro.
Some electrolytes, which we requested from the doctor.
Like athletic tape. That's about
Vaseline.
It. And Vaseline,
yeah. But
okay, so that's like the next 2 hours. Then we're getting really close to like nighttime. So we go, they say dinner's ready. The food was, I would say it reminded me of training camp. So it really wasn't bad for me.
That is also insane. Are you gymnastics training camp for the Olympic team?
Yeah.
That's insane, Shawn.
I know.
That's what they fed you?
Yes. It was very, very similar.
Oh my gosh.
So breakfast every day, we would have like bread rolls, hard-boiled eggs. We either had chia seed pudding or oatmeal, but it was like made with water, not with milk, and no seasoning, not like very bland. Strawberry preserves, and then powdered coffee.
I don't know how else to describe the food other than slop. Like literally, it was slop. It was. Here you are getting fed filet mignon. It was prison food
in the NFL.
Dude. And it was like almost intentionally hilarious how bad the food was.
No, it legitimately
the bread was stale. The bread was stale, and there's no like, you had salt, and I don't think we even had pepper. You had salt, and that's it. So you'd have salted eggs for breakfast, and then you'd have salted carrot soup, and then you'd have salted oatmeal. It's like, dude.
It really didn't bother me at all.
But yeah, oh my gosh. I forget what we had for dinner that night, but anyway.
Yeah, so we had dinner, and then by that time, it's probably like 10 o'clock, and we're like getting ready for bed. We aren't sure, like, is it over? It's been a very, very long day. We've probably been doing stuff by now.
We woke up at 5.
All day. Yeah, 20 hours. So we start doing the whole, like, one by one, we would shower. The shower was outdoors. It was just like a water tank with like a hose, pretty much.
Yeah. Bonding in the barracks this whole time was high because now we all had like this traumatic, like the first relay race was brutal for everybody. So we're all like laughing, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I saw Johnny doing that, and this person wouldn't stop talking. And we're all like vibing. It was fun.
We finally decide it's time to go to bed. It's like now 1:30 a.m. And I would say we all climb in bed around 1:30 and fall asleep. No kidding.
The show said 11:30. It was later than midnight. It was later than 1 o'clock.
No, it was the middle of the night. Like we stayed up late because of it. So it was probably like 1:30 that we all fall asleep. No kidding. 30 minutes later, they come busting in and they say, "Be ready in the square in 5 minutes." Dude. So now we're all like showered and in pretty much our bra and underwear or like boxers because that's what everyone was sleeping in because it was so hot. And they're like, you better be dressed to the T like we taught you and out in the square in 5 minutes. So we're all panicking.
Oh my god.
Get dressed, run out, find our numbers, stand on them. And they're like, get ready, time to work out. We have to jump in and out of an ice bath, crawl.
The water was not that cold, for the record. It was not like freezing.
It wasn't freezing, but it was probably like 70.
But the desert temperature goes from 120 in the day to like cold at night. So it's probably like 60, 70 outside.
So then getting in a colder bath, it wasn't an ice bath, but it was cold comparatively speaking. So you'd have to get in and out of the water. army crawl, do tuck jumps, burpees, push-ups, sit-ups. We probably did it for 30, 40 minutes. And then we're lined back up. And all I remember is seeing Andrew out of the corner of my eye. And we are both convulsing.
I've never felt this in my life.
I think it's just from like fatigue and being tired and being woken up. And then the water and the desert air at night being cold. But I have never been that cold in my life. I was literally like...
Could not stop shivering.
No, like, yeah.
Usually, like, I could tighten up. Like, if I'm cold on a ski slope or something like that, I can stop shivering.
No.
My body, so I did not say this whole orientation, us clowning in the barracks, I'm flat on my back.
Andrew was redlining.
I think I had a heat stroke.
Yeah.
Or I was about to have a heat stroke. And it's like, my regulation physically was not in good shape, which is why I thought I was going to have to tap out. Because I was like, I'm not going to make it past day one. So
it was about 120 degrees, by the way.
Then we thought we were going to sleep. We didn't. Then we do this workout, get in the water. It's cold. And my just like, you know, when you're sick and your body gets hot, cold, and you can't regulate it or it doesn't do its normal thing. Like, that's what was happening. I literally was just, I can't, I can't stop.
It was awful.
Oh my god.
So then they're finally like, okay, go back to the barracks. And they never say, never in the entirety of the show, they never say like, good night or see you tomorrow. It's always like, just be ready.
Yeah, it's a game.
They would always leave you with, just be ready.
But we did figure out by day 2 or 3 that you knew the day was over when
the lights would go out in the barracks.
And so, yeah, and they would say before bed, when you're going to sleep, put your microphone. This is the only time you took it off. Could you take it off for showering? I think they did let you take it off for showering.
But you had to put it right back on.
But yeah, they're like, put it on your shoebox next to you.
Because they have to change out the battery in the middle of the night.
And you kind of knew the day was over when the lights shut off.
But the lights would shut off at different times every night. So 1:30, 2:30, 4 a.m.
Dude.
We'd get lucky one night at like 11 p.m. And that was the first day. I will never forget that first night. I was so tired. Just from like being on and adrenaline.
Yeah.
I will never forget one of the mic people coming in. Christy Rampone was on the other side of me. You were on one side of me. I will never get her laughing at this the next morning. She's like, I thought you were like dying. I couldn't get you to wake up. But I forgot to put the mic on the shoe rack next to me. He couldn't get me to wake up.
Really?
And he was just like, so then Christy had to get out of bed and she's like trying to wake me up.
Oh my god.
And finally I wake up and I'm in such a fog and my mic is like caught in my sports bra and I'm still not awake. And I'm finally just like, can you just help? Can you just help me, please? Please. Jeez. And this poor guy in the pitch black in the barracks is like desperately trying to help me get.
But not talking.
Nope, not allowed to talk to you. So I technically broke protocol, even saying, can you help me?
Was there anything you were shocked by after watching the episode compared to real life? A couple things that strike me are, one, how much they like upplayed the helicopter, which was intense, but not the hardest thing.
It was like the chillest thing the whole day.
And they downplayed the relay race and that workout.
I just don't think it was like, can be shown on TV as to how hard it was.
Which is interesting. Yeah, what makes good TV? A helicopter, like a relay race, probably the helicopter. The added slow-mo and like graphics was super cool. Where it's like, wow, that was intense. And then the addition of other people's audio too was like super insightful because you're like, oh yeah, I'm only thinking about my experience, not as much as other people's. And then also, lastly, the cameras in the barracks, it's like a GoPro. And you're like, oh, maybe they'll use this footage, but it looks like a highly professional camera in the post edit where you're
it's nice.
And they're pulling audio from here and there. And, and then like how they distill. Honestly, I would say they portrayed in episode 1 everything and everyone very accurately.
I don't feel like they portrayed anybody different or the edits made anybody look different than they were in real life.
But it's definitely like distilled too, which is just fascinating because like, you know, moments of conversation that are a little more drawn out but have a climax at this point when that person says something. It's just so different when you put it on a TV edit than in real life when you're like having this large conversation. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, questions.
On to your questions. Questions submitted on social media for episode 1. Let's dive in.
All right.
Do they really only give you the most basic instructions before y'all do things like rappel?
Yes.
Maybe 30 seconds worth. Not exaggerating.
There's no like helicopter safety course. There's no rappelling. We did the day before that quick test of like, I guess, initial skills, but there's no instruction because they say we can't teach you anything. It's going to be pretty raw out there. Yeah, there's no instruction.
No. They just reinforce from day one this concept of you do exactly as you are told. And that's not just for safety, but also learning discipline. But you learn very quickly, if you listen intently to what they're saying, they're trying to help you succeed. Okay.
And they do give you the visual walkthrough of the DS doing it themselves, but there's no real like explanation of how they're doing it. So you're like trying to pay attention as sharp as possible.
Can you go more into what you are allowed to speak on and not allowed to prior to it airing? We just can't tell you how far we made it.
They did give us approval, like if you listen to our previous episode, to give like an overview of the activities we did.
Yeah.
But not the ultimate outcomes.
Or like what activities there were. Because like we've now talked to everybody and we know what all challenges. Someone said, can't wait to watch, but I'm surprised they let you say you made it to interrogation. You don't know that. We're telling you, we know there's interrogation.
Yeah.
We know people who went through interrogation. Do you feel like you couldn't cheer each other on too much or show affection?
We wanted to respect the course, is what we talked about. It was not we realized this was not for Shawn and Andrew, and this is not like our gig. This was the Special Forces gig, the instructor's gig. And so we wanted to respect that. And we did at night kind of debrief, and we would kind of like encourage each other, like, hey, let's keep going.
Because we were in cots next to each other, so we would kind of be whispering. And
we also really enjoyed spending time with the other recruits. So we tried to really not make it about us at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any time you get to eat or use the bathroom? We technically had breakfast. technically had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we had the same breakfast every day around like 5 a.m. Sometimes would get lunch. It would usually be while we're out on like a challenge, and it was like literally a tortilla with chicken, if you could call it that.
No, they literally had lettuce sandwiches. Lettuce sandwiches on stale bread. You're like, what?
And then we would get dinner varying times each day, but you knew you would get dinner, and it was like very bland, like a boiled chicken, stale bread, some veggies of some kind. Yeah.
I lost 17 pounds on the show.
Yeah,
started at 225, came back sub 209. It was crazy.
Were there any co-stars that you connected with right away or ones that you didn't vibe with? Co-stars I connected with right away because we were split up into teams. So on my team, the first day, connected with Bree and Gia really quickly. But also, I loved my whole team the first day. Mark Estes was great.
We had the Nashville connection with Mark, Randall, Jesse, and Eric.
Oh, Randall was on my team. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Randall's the best.
So we all kind of vibed over Nashville.
Yeah.
Christy.
Yeah, on your side. But then, like, back in the barracks, everyone, like Jesse and Eric, obviously, we're really close with. Christy Rampone, Nick, Ravi, Chanel.
Oh, yeah, Ravi is Nashville, too. That was another shocking thing, too, is everyone's experiencing the thing equally, but who they chose to feature and highlight, like, they almost didn't mention a couple people that first episode where you're like, wow, we were all doing it together. That's surprising.
Yeah. What are the necklaces you're wearing? And are the men leading it as intensely in person as it shows on TV?
More intensely.
Way more intense.
Way more yelling. Way more F-bombs.
Yeah. And the necklaces are mics.
There is no on-camera, off-camera personality for the DS. They were yelling the whole time.
Did any of your castmates drive you crazy?
I mean, were there style differences? Yes. I'll leave it at that.
Someone said when Q pushed you into the mud, that was crazy. Yeah. It gets freakier. Just get ready.
Honestly, episode 1, I think is going to be like the most chill.
Tame.
Yeah.
2 pairs of clothes and so much mud? How?
Oh, yeah. We did talk about how to wash your clothes and everything.
Yeah.
So we got 2 uniforms. The first one got destroyed by mud because that first relay race and the workout at night. So we come back all muddy because we're army crawling over the rocks and mud. It was so brutal.
And you can't just change into your other pair of clothes and go to bed.
Yeah, there's like chores to do at night.
Yeah.
You had to wash your meal kit. You have to wash your clothes. So they had this trough with running water that had a pump from it, and you just like have to run the water over your clothes and like wring it out and then hang it up on the drying rack and hope that was good enough.
Yeah. But then after you wash it and you're hanging it up and it's soaking wet, if you got called back out, and so you put your dry set on, if you got called back out 2 minutes later, you had to go grab your wet kit and put the wet kit back on.
Yeah.
Which was awful.
Brutal. So I pretty much kept my wet kit on the whole time because I didn't want to have to deal with that.
I know.
Yeah.
Was there a medical team nearby at all times?
They were present.
Yes.
They were not a feature though.
Mm-mm. And you can't just like go check in with medical whenever. So like they're watching very closely.
Yeah.
If there's blood involved, you have to be seen by the medic.
And they had different roles. So they kind of showed this on the episode, but they had a toilet duty. So they had to like.
By the medic?
No, sorry. They had a duty recruit. So anytime you wanted to see the medic, you had to talk to the duty recruit. Duty recruit had to go talk to the DS, who would then talk to the medic.
Yeah.
That was kind of the process. Yeah. But anyway. And they also had a toilet cleaner. And who else did they have? Was it just 2?
We had to wash dishes, everyone's dishes.
Oh yeah, we were the dishwashers the whole time, Shawn and I. But
who is your favorite DS?
You grow to respect.
Yeah.
You start off loathing all of them, and then I think I grew to respect all of them for sure. But like friendship wise, I think I would like to continue to get to know Foxy.
Mm-hmm. They're all so nice, believe it or not. We got to hang out with DSQ and DS Rudy, like personally in LA after the show, which was awesome. Foxy is just this mystery man who has a great sense of humor. So yeah, I'd love to get to know him better. And you can tell Billy's like OG.
Yeah. Hilarious too.
He would play these jokes on you. Like you'd literally be hanging out of the helicopter and he's so serious and he'd act like he was dropping you. And he'd be like, chill out.
So he's like funny in a terrifying way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But you can also tell he has like the most clout.
Yeah.
By the other DS. Anyways.
Yeah.
What was it like sleeping near everyone?
Oh yeah. People ask like, what if someone snores? You're like, well.
Shockingly, I'm a very light sleeper except for that first night. And nobody snored.
Yeah. You're also
really
so
shocked.
exhausted from the day's activity. I think everyone slept well except for Jessie, who said she never slept. But
who surprised you the most? The person who crossed the finish line. You gotta wait and see. Where can I watch if I missed the first episode?
I think it's on Hulu. Or you can record it on YouTube TV is what we did.
But did you die? Because
again, it was all fun and games until the first physical challenge. And then I was like, oh, this is not reality TV. This is a real deal. So it's brutal.
Explain the helicopter rappel. Would it have been possible to completely fall to the ground? Yes.
Yeah.
We were our own brake. Does that make sense?
Yeah, again, with no experience.
So as soon as you jump out of that helicopter, if you're not braking with your own hand, you're going straight to the ground, 200 feet.
You see it with Brittany's rappel.
Yeah.
Like she got in a pinch and no one's bailing her out.
No, there's no way to.
They're like, you're on your own. So.
What was your why?
Gain appreciation and empathy for what the troops go through. Get to do, honestly, obviously it's like an amazing once in a lifetime experience to do the TV show, to do this in a different country, to do all these crazy stunts. You're like, it was a no brainer as soon as Shawn and I found out we could do it together. So it's like, what a fun experience and memory to have together, and what a cool environment to do it in.
It's been a very long time since I competed. Didn't know if I was capable of being competitive anymore. What I was capable of tapping into. Had 3 kids. Really wanted to see where my red lines were. What is the shortest amount of time you slept in a night?
Was it 4 or 5 hours that first night?
By 4.
Yeah.
Because we probably went to bed by.
No, sorry. 0 hours. What are we talking about?
Oh yeah.
0 hours.
0. Yeah.
Sorry. Obviously.
Yeah. The shortest amount of time we slept was 0.
Stay tuned. Oh my gosh.
What is the longest you slept? Probably 7.
Yeah. Once.
Rare.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying not to give spoilers.
I know. Do you think it helped having your spouse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being able to go to sleep next to my husband was a comfort.
And there's less preoccupation of what's going on at home. We were able to be present fully with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Comfort, push, the depth of knowledge definitely, I think, gave us a different understanding of how capable and how well we could navigate any given situation.
Who won the fight, me or Bree? Obviously, Bree.
Episode 2. I can't wait for that one.
Are we feeling any PTSD?
I tell you what. The first 6 hours after I got done,
yeah,
I was in a really bad place. I'll explain more why, but I was in a really bad place. And I do think it took us 2 weeks to fully decompress, 6 weeks to really put it behind us.
You said 10 days. Does that mean you made it to the end? No. The course is 10 days. We didn't say we made it 10 days. How many times did you shower? I think all of us tried to shower. We tried to rinse off once every 24 hours. But, I mean...
I probably showered. Yeah. We won't give that number away then. But what you did see, Johnny, you didn't want to shower too much. And it was short showers because when there's a bunch of people using one shared shower. Then also, Johnny's in that shower, as you can see on episode 1, and gets yelled at that the DS needs to see him. So you're like, you don't know what's going to happen or when. And so you always want to stay ready. You don't ever want to be in that super urgent situation where you don't have your kid in place and then everyone's going to have to do a penalty workout. So it's like, it's a really fine balance and strategy of like when you do personal things or when you let your guard down. Because if you let your guard down and they throw something at you, it's like misery.
How far would they let you go until they intervened with helping to save your life? Well, wait till you watch the next episode. You'll see. The very last
inch, I would say.
When you need compressions?
Yeah.
What was Shawn's feedback from the staff after?
I mean, Johnny almost had a heat stroke and they did nothing.
I know.
They did nothing.
I mean, they're trained to like bring it back from the dead. So I think they're ready to see it kind of fall over. And they're like, I think it might be time.
They also don't ease up on. Johnny's out there convulsing. He's like, you got to keep going. It's ruthless.
What was my feedback from the staff after rappelling from the helicopter because they didn't show it? That I failed. I got stuck.
Last thought, yeah. Shawn almost didn't weigh enough to rappel down. They don't intervene medically because they're waiting on you to medically withdraw pretty much. It's like, if it hurts that bad, VW. Like, withdraw yourself. If not, keep going. So it's like a cat and mouse game.
Like, you can get medical attention. All you got to do.
Yeah, literally.
And then you would black out and they'd be like, oh, wait, I got to help you. Yeah. Was it scripted at all? No. Like 0%.
0.
I think maybe the only script you could possibly claim is like the instructors had a schedule that they knew they were going to follow.
Did not share with us.
No. Were we able to drink coffee?
Yeah.
Powdered coffee every morning. Well, no, it was available breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We almost didn't want to drink too much of it. 1, because it was super hot outside. 2, because you didn't want to lose any electrolytes or water because it's a diuretic.
Going to the bathroom, we had these toilets that Andrew talked about, the metal bins that you pooped and peed in that everyone could see. Or if you're out on a challenge, we had no toilets at all. So you had to literally just go
Drop
somewhere.
trial, baby. You ever notice how some people just look like they've got it all figured out? I'm talking early workouts, kids ready for school, emails answered by 8 a.m. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to find my left shoe.
That's literally us most mornings, which is why Kachava has been such a game changer. It's like the one part of our day we don't have to overthink.
That's right. It's an all-in-one meal that actually tastes amazing.
But it's not just about taste. Each shake has 25 grams of plant-based protein, 6 grams of fiber, and over 85 superfoods, nutrients, and adaptogens. We're talking probiotics for gut health, greens for energy, antioxidants for recovery, all of the stuff your body is craving.
And the convenience is everything. I toss a scoop into almond milk or iced coffee, shake it up, and boom, instant breakfast or lunch that keeps me full for hours.
Same here. And between kids, meetings, and workouts, I love knowing it's clean, plant-based fuel, no artificial flavors, preservatives, or gluten. Just real ingredients that support energy, immunity, and digestion.
It's basically fast food for people who don't want to feel gross after eating fast food.
If you want to see what we mean, head to kachava.com and use code EastFam for 15% off your order.
That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com, code EastFam for 15% off.
Andrew about got his team smoked right out of the gate with that smirk.
Oh, just wait. I get yelled at multiple times for that. I got yelled at every level of football for smiling.
Were you worried about getting seriously injured?
Not until the relay race and seeing Johnny almost die. And then it was like, oh yeah.
I think that was both of our biggest fears on the show. It wasn't like heights or drowning, or even though those are our fears, our biggest fear was like getting really hurt.
Yeah. I can't imagine you doing that without me or me doing that without you. So I'm so glad we got to do it together.
Same,
it would
baby.
it's hard to even accurately describe it on this show. I can't imagine trying to tell each other what that experience is like, because we really went through it together, and what a bond. So
yeah.
Thank you, Fox.
Thank you. And
thank you all for tuning in. We're going to do a lot of videos, like I said, just because it was such a momentous thing in our life. We shared the Special Forces show test on our main channel. Did an episode on this last week. We'll continue to do episodes. Let us know and comment or DM us if you have any specific questions. We'd love to answer them, and we'll get to as many as possible. But that's all we got. Thanks for listening. I'm Andrew.
Number 10.
Till next time.
Out.
Out.